name is Filipe Albuquerque. I'm racing for Whelen Racing, in DPI and Action Express. This is going to be my 8th 24 Hours Daytona. I won in a GTD and I won in a DPI in 2018. And I've been doing some Le Mans and endurance races through all my career, and I have some experience already. So basically, the really base routes for a race car driver normally is a go-kart. And that's the really base one because you're really close to the ground, and the ratio between horsepower and weight, it's very nice. So you go from there, but then when you need to go higher, and then you go to junior formulas or you go to GT cars, and which is close to, depending on to the production line, which now we are starting to have a lot like the GT4s. So it's kind of close to a production car, but you just have like slick tires and a little bit less weight. So as it goes on, these cars is just like, for example, a normal GT car. It's quicker than, let's pick it up like the Audi R8, which there is a ton. There is the Ferraris, there is the Porsches, there is a ton of them. So basically from the production car, these cars just have the roll bars, they have not the next driving seat, so they are just lighter, and you have like better tires, which makes you brake later, turn way quicker, so you just feel amazed when you first drive those cars. So it just feels mega, and you can go around on these tracks because it's super abrasive on the tires. So you do that thing and you feel it like for the first time, it's just like, wow, this is really fast. But then you go for the next level, which, you know, when you go for the GT3, which is better than GT4, you have more downforce. You can start seeing a lot on the cars, which those flicks, those wings around the car, front and in the rear, which makes the car much more close to the ground. So you can go way faster. Literally, you don't need to brake as much. So normally, depending on the tracks, you have less corners because it becomes like super easy to do some corners because you have the downforce. Downforce is what every driver looks for, because more downforce means that you can go quicker on the corners, you can brake later, and it's all magical. So I think that the concept of racing, it's always the same, because you know, red light and it comes to green, the last one to get there is the dumb guy, right? So it's all about who gets there first. But I think a very big step, it's from go-karts to a normal track. So everything is just huge. You come from a racetrack which is normally like 1 kilometer, like a mile maximum, to 3 to 4 and 5 miles a track. So everything is just wider and bigger, way more weight. So the momentum, when you miss the braking point, the car rolls way more because have to stop like a ton, and that's the biggest difference. And in go-karts, you use a lot your body to turn, and your body affects a lot how the car turns. And here you just have 8 belts around your body, so you don't move at all. You only move your eyes and your arms. So that changes a lot. That for me was kind of frightening, because I was using a lot my body in go-karts, and then from the moment when I stepped in a Formula or a GT car, I didn't move at all, and it's way hotter inside. So that's a big step. And then I think the next big step is when you go for a bigger Formula, which you drive a GT car like a GT3, and then you come to these cars, and if you do it straight away because you have the opportunity, you can do it into a DPI car, the step is way too big, because we are talking about like a 900 kilo car to a 600 horsepower, and a GT3 it's like 400 to 1,300 kilos. So all that, it's time, and we're talking about like 10 seconds around a lap. Plus, like for example, the King here in Daytona, with this car, it's close to cold tires, flat, easy going, because the downforce, yes, so much downforce, wing in the front, big wing in the rear. The force of gravity is super low, so it makes the car super agile, and it's way lighter, so the car is way faster. And as well, from the GT car, you feel all the momentum of the roll of the car, that it's just all that weight does not help you to go fast. So that step you need to brake late, but you are used to brake at 150 meters, and then you need to come way quicker, and you need to brake 100, but you know what you have to do, but your heart tells you, if I brake later, like 340 meters at this speed, I know that wall will come fast to me. So that mental braking, it's hard to, you need miles to get up there, and it's not like this that you're gonna get, from, certain point to a a very competitive level. You need to train yourself, and the more you train, the more rhythm you will get on driving the car, and that makes you better because testing, it's so limited, and it's about confidence on the car. So if you can extract the most of the car in 3 laps, then you are on it, because you don't have many more laps until the race. So, and then obviously you can start training yourself, like running, anything that has mental. I like running because, like doing 10Ks, you go there and you just want to stop. No, but you need to keep going, and you need to break yourself to do more and quicker and faster. And it's a mental game. It's all about a mental game at a certain point. And for me, in terms of running, to do better, and it happens the same, like, oh, I'm tired, or I'm first now, I just want this race to be over because that's the spot that I want to be. But then your mind puts you tricks into yourself, and then it's up to you alone to trick yourself as well, to keep motivated, keep focused, and knowing what you're doing, hit the brakes, make your reference, and going on. So running, going to the gym to be strong, like normally it's like arms, neck, back. It's very demanding on ourselves. So we go to the gym and we do those preparations. So basically the best training you can have for driving is always driving. When you drive a faster car, it makes you a better driver, because the reactions, you just used to react to things that it's way quicker. So when you go to a younger car or a slower car, everything for you, it's slow motion. But then, because every category nowadays is so competitive, and for me now going to a GT car, it needs for me to redefine, to fine-tuning the grip of that car, because it's not going to be about doing a flat corner, a corner that's flat and you go on a limit. I will find that for sure for me easy, and my heart rate will be super low, because for me that will be slow motion. But to fine-tuning the braking, how the car behaves, and the rolling of the car, and understanding all the physics of each car, it's what makes the difference. So normally you will see drivers just driving that specific car, because then they are the masters of that car, of that weight and relation, weight and power. So for example, a DPI car, because you have high horsepower and low weight, you can attack a lot at corners. So brake late, rotate the car, and just step on the gas. It will take you out of there. If you have a heavy car and low engine, so you need to brake a little bit earlier, carry on the momentum on minimum speed, and then because you don't have so much power, you need to anticipate and make good exits so you can extract for the main straight. So, but if I'm going with my driving style that I'm used to here, I'm not going to be fast there, but I will understand quickly that, oh, okay, I cannot brake as late as this, even, then we call it overdriving. But when you're driving, when you do all the ladder and you are experienced and you understand what the car wants to be faster, especially driving with faster cars, then you will adapt quickly and you will extract very quick that car wants. So when you come from a slower car to a faster car, normally you will be underdriving the car, so you will just be slower, and you just need to beat yourself to brake later and to find the limits of the car. But what happens is, like, you keep finding until it tricks it bites your hand, like, oops, I just crashed. Like, I was not expecting that, because everything just happened so quick. So again, it's redefining an experience and knowing the car limits everywhere. So again, I would say that I always say this, that you can put always a gentleman guy in here and you will find it super easy to drive, because it will be far from the limit. You will be lifting, you will feel quick on the fast corners, but he's far off. But then, okay, now do it flat. Like, no, I can't, because he doesn't understand the concept of downforce. He does not trust the car. But it will be easy. But to drive slow, any car, it's easy. But to do that, that 1,000 faster than anyone else, that's the tricky point.